All right, welcome back from my favorite guest to my least favorite guest because he's a Raiders fan. I'm a Bronco fan. Tonight is week 6 of the NFL kicking off tonight. Eagles visiting New Jersey to play the Giants. And this guy right here, Raiders fan, will be at the game. That will be the 16th NFL game he's attended this season alone. He's working on breaking the Guinness record for most games in a single season. That stands at 33, Jim. 33.
We should say we're all about connecting here at Connecting America. So It's okay. You're a Raiders fan.
No, it's not.
We can still talk to you. Dave needs to just chill out a little bit.
No, it's not. Brian Fowler is his name. I kid. I do like Brian. He's aiming to shatter the record and see 56 games this year.
That's right.
How did you set off on this mission, and can you possibly pull off that number?
Well, we'll see about the government shutdown. That could be a problem.
Interesting wrinkle.
You were talking about that earlier. Yeah, that's right. But let me set it up for you. So the last 3 years, I was inspired, and I started going to every single Raider game the last 3 years. I had a streak of 59 games, Raiders home and away, and it was going to the other cities and seeing the other fan bases because Raider fans are insane and passionate and loyal, even when we're bad, right?
Yeah.
So, but it was great to start seeing other fan bases in other cities, and I got really inspired, particularly by the draft. I've gone to the draft 2 years in a row, and it is such an amazing experience. I genuinely have to recommend going to a draft at some point. It's like San Diego Comic-Con for football fans.
Yeah, I was in Philadelphia.
Well, now they move it around, which is great.
It was fun to be in Philly for the draft when it was there.
Yeah.
How do you do all this with the logistics, and what do you do about working for a living?
Logistics, I have a very massive Excel spreadsheet, number one. It requires a lot from the flights and hotel and everything. But I do work, but I took a break. I'm on a sabbatical to do this because it's just not possible to do a full-time job, and this is a full-time job.
It's unfortunate that following the Raiders doesn't include playoff games, right? It really is.
No, but that actually inspired it because we made the playoffs in 2021, and that started this journey actually. Because the next year I assumed we were going to win the Super Bowl,
right?
Of course,
good assumption.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what stands out in terms of visiting stadiums, cities? What has stood out on this journey so far?
Well, it's great to see. There's so much passion for every team, and I like to talk about the Raider fans, of course, but really it's every team, and it's wonderful. Each stadium has certain qualities that I love. There was a Ravens-Lions game on Monday night that was absolutely insane. The pregame was the most intense experience. It was like a rock concert. It was insane. I mean, that place was alive.
Have you been to Buffalo yet? And have you met the Bills Mafia?
I have.
Impressions?
Yes. Oh, I love them. Yeah. I was really trying hard to find the place where they dive through the tables, but I just couldn't manage to find that. But their tailgates are insane. But it's also such an interesting location because it's outside of town. It's in a neighborhood. There's like houses just around, a little bit like Green Bay as well. But
Green Bay, you're literally driving through this little neighborhood, small little houses, and then just boom, Lambeau's there.
And Lambeau is gorgeous.
You talk about the fans and their passions. What's been the wildest experience you've seen other than at Raiders games themselves?
Philly opening night.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys. It was their Super Bowl celebration, and the entire atmosphere was insane. I shout out to my guy, Philly sports guy. He's one of the most passionate guys. He paints his face. He's got the mohawk. He's in LA right now for Philly's Dodgers as well. Philly is great. I going into it, heard a lot of people say, be careful in Philly, but I think it's just rumors and stories. I'm sure bad things happen, but honestly, everyone was so nice and so great. It might have been because I wasn't wearing Cowboys.
Exactly. You wear Cowboys gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get a bucket of something spilled on you.
All right, so let's get it through a few, I want to check some boxes. We're in a diner. Any food stand out at an opposing stadium or tailgate?
No. And I'm so sorry. I knew you were going to ask that. It's just part of the problem is this is a very expensive trip, and I've made a decision to stop doing food. There's a lot of repetitive food. There's, chicken tenders, pizzas, burgers, hot dogs. I'm sure that a lot of the sweet areas have, like Allegiant Stadium in Vegas has amazing food in certain areas, but for the most part, it's stadium food. And I realize that if I eat every time in 56 stadiums, it's going to add another $5,000 to the trip.
That is actually a smart move. Okay, what fan base struck you as the most passionate?
Well, the Raiders, of course.
On the road.
I would have to say Philly, and it helps because they're coming off a Super Bowl.
Okay,
but
no, they're always pretty
intense.
much like that.
Yeah.
Was there any stadium that stood out as kind of disappointing?
Jacksonville on Monday night was a little disappointing, although the game was spectacular. That was great, and they beat the Chiefs.
This is the Chiefs game you were just there for.
Oh, my gosh. That game was intense, and that touchdown at the end by Lawrence was insane. He fell over twice and still managed to get in.
But Jacksonville was a little
bit, but I think it's going under a renovation, so there was construction everywhere, and it was creating these choke points, and it was a little rough.
Go ahead.
Are you seeing any overseas games? Are you doing there's so many international games. I'm curious if that's going to be on the tour.
No, I'm trying to keep it domestic because of the cost and the time. I mean, every day that there's a football game this season, I'm going with one exception, and that's Brazil on Friday night, that opening weekend, because I couldn't get from Philadelphia to Brazil fast enough. It's just not possible. So I didn't do that one, and I just decided to keep it domestic. I'm already going, pretty big with this, so.
Do you have a favorite place to be sitting? You mentioned suites. You're not up in suites. You're out there with the regular fans.
I'm there with the regular fans, which I have to be because I have to get witnesses to fill out forms for Guinness. The Guinness requirements are actually quite intense. But to answer your question, I prefer sitting up a little. I've sat, in the front many times at many games. It's great for the experience to be close to the players. But you can see the game a little bit more when you're up a little bit.
Yeah.
What was the toughest ticket?
That's a great question. I actually think Thursday night. I'm sorry, it's not Thursday night. Thursday Thanksgiving, Lions.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get these tickets? Do you just go on StubHub or?
Yeah, I typically go on Ticketmaster. They're directly affiliated with the NFL, and the thing is, you can buy the tickets very late and still get them on your phone quickly. So you wait for the prices to come down a little bit.
Do you know how much this expected Guinness journey will cost?
It's probably going to cost about $25,000.
Wow. And do you have family back home who just says, bye, see ya?
Pretty much. My wife, Jenny, she's been very supportive, of course, on this trip. She has, she's looked at some games to come to in previous years. She's gone with me, but this year I think she saw the schedule and was just overwhelmed. And I don't know. I don't know which game I can go to.
Well, if you need a wingman, I can think of a few
to join?
right here.
Yeah.
I love this idea.
I was in Denver for the Bengals Broncos. They dismantled the poor Bengals. Yeah, they're almost as bad as the Raiders are right now.
Next time in Denver, I can hook you up for tickets there. I am curious, how do we follow your journey? Are we on Instagram? Are we on TikTok? What?
So on Instagram, I post a lot of shorts and reels. The account is All In Autumn Wind.
All in Autumn Wind.
Okay. The Autumn Wind is a Raider. That's a poem from the 70s. So all in. So I'm all in Autumn Wind. Awesome. And then on YouTube, I post long form videos, vlogs of the entire experience and, walking around the stadium and talking to fans.
Have you gotten to meet any players who were your heroes?
I have. I was in Tampa a couple weeks ago, and I did a 5-minute interview with John Gruden, which for me was just like,
Chucky.
That's the highlight of the season for me. Yeah.
He's great. We'd like to see him back in football.
I think he's coming back. He alluded to something, but didn't go into detail. So I think there's something going on.
I've heard some whispers.
But there's that legal battle, too, going on right now, which is going in his favor so far. Which
I do believe he will come out victorious. It doesn't look good for the league.
And Max Crosby, I got to meet him and interviewed him a little bit last year. One of my favorite players, of course. So it's been really great. A lot of former players I've
and
met
you post all this.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Fowler.
What a journey, man.
We'll go on a diner tour too while we're at it.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, I'm sort of doing that in every city.
He is connecting America. He's literally doing it through football stadiums, and we appreciate that. Brian, good to see you, sir.
Thank you so much.